this is David, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee Doodles, the show where I just draw on stains and see what I can see here. It's a very calming exercise if you want to start your day like this. I highly recommend it. So I just move around here and just kind of see if I can find anything that's obvious. See right here, I just start to make a line around, and then it starts to kind of show itself. It's kind of like a pair of pants here. You start making the folds and whatnot, and the wrinkles, and and these pants obviously need to be hemmed. Let's fold them up at the bottom. And we got a nice shiny shoe here. And let's just down here's the IRS agent, because you shouldn't have started that side business while you were collecting stimulus checks. And of course, he opened up a file on you. Yeah, so I recommend this exercise very highly if you want to calm down and just sort of compartmentalize and ground yourself in the morning. Yeah, khaki pants. So let's just move on down here. See if there's anything of note. So this sort of looks like a fist, like a hand kind of with something in it. Maybe it's change, or maybe it's car keys, and someone's handing you car keys. That moment right before they drop the car keys, and they're trying to determine if if you had a few too many to drink, and they're not really sure if they should hand you the car keys. There's that moment of hesitation. Yeah, I think that we should make that moment President of the United States. So let's put a little tie down here, and to make it less threatening, let's put some eyeballs up here. Make it more human. It might prevent an insurrection or something if you have more of a human face. Okay, let's move on over here. This to me looks like a cardigan sweater. If I just start drawing around it there, it kind of looks like a cozy sweater. I hate that word cozy. But it's wrapped around this maybe a very cold robot. Looks like a very folky looking robot. I think this robot was designed to have human emotions, like maybe even its desire to dream big and achieve crazy things, like becoming a unicorn, for instance. So he actually believes that he could become a unicorn if he tried really, really hard, and he's really, really picturing it, like he's trying to picture the horn coming out of his head. And the rest of his body is just going to form into a unicorn, and he's trying extra hard, and he believes that he's actually going to become a unicorn, and his circuits are something's changing, and it seems like he's really achieving something, and he closes his eyes and he actually feels the hooves forming on his robotic hands, and then his head just explodes everywhere, like pieces of, it's just destroyed. It's really sad. The engineers kind of swept up the pieces because his head exploded all over the room, and when they found this chip, they scanned it, and when they scanned this chip, they actually found that in the last half a millisecond of his life, he truly did believe that he became a unicorn. And that's all that really matters, I guess. So yeah, it's a great exercise to kind of calm down in the morning before you jump into traffic. So right here, this sort of looks like a profile of something. Maybe it's like a bird. Let's just get crazy and make it a Michelin star chef with a very large nose. the big poofy eyebrows. And the chef hat up here. And besides his nostrils, he has two owner holes. Those are for the owners of the restaurant. Usually owners of the restaurant, they don't live in the restaurant or work there all day. But if the chef has owner holes, then they might be there. See, this is Vino. He's a fast gesturing hand. Mostly, he makes a lot of gestures, and he's very, very fast talker. He talks over people, and you should really listen. You shouldn't really mess with Vino. He kind of runs the place. He's a very fast gesturing hand. Lots of hand movement. And this is his business partner Max. Max doesn't really say a whole lot. He's mostly quiet. But Vino just runs the place. He's the last one speaking. You don't speak. Vino does the thinking and the talking and a lot of the hand gestures. It's definitely understood that he's the leader. And then one day there was a bit of a fight. Between the two owners. Mostly coming from Vino. The whole restaurant was kind of disturbed. They were looking back at the kitchen because they heard all the screaming, and they definitely felt the hand gestures, like the vibrations of the hand gestures. Somehow they made it through the chef's body and into the floor. It was just messed up how he could just walk all over people, especially Max, since Max is a dead fish. And he's not completely rotting, but I think that's because there's a lot of fluid coming from the nose, and it's mixing with the fish juice and whatnot, and it's kind of preserving it. Like it's almost like Michelin star chef knows formaldehyde, because otherwise it would just be bones. So over here, this thing looks kind of like a different type of nose, more like a horse's nose or a horse's mouth. Maybe it's the thing that comes out of the horse's face sheath. The mouth is usually a different color than the rest of the horse's head. That's because they're two separate things, and sometimes the horse's mouth, let's just call it Judy. It kind of slips out of the face sheath. That's why it's this long thing here. This is what it looks like when it's fully out of the horse's face. And we'll put some skinny jeans on it and maybe some cowboy boots. So it comes out and it just sort of slithers around. It's covered in goop, so if you ever see one, just throw it a towel if you have a towel. It does like to go shopping in the mall, and it can't really go in there with all the goop. So if you just throw it a towel, it can go in there and shop for all the bling it needs, really. So at this point, you're probably wondering what happened to the horse's face. For now, we'll just put Max. We'll just put Max there. This is probably where he went after him and Vino parted ways. He's trying to be a Judy face plug now. Don't judge. I don't really judge anyone. So right here, this sort of looks to me like someone drowning. You see that kind of, if you just draw around it, it's looking a little bit like Winston Churchill, and that's probably exactly what it is, because every 90s kid knows the Winston. It's right beside the control button. It got me out of a lot of jams, but kids today, they don't really know what that is. So let's move on over here. We got this shape here. It kind of looks like a It looks like a curtain. Maybe it's a stage curtain or something. Looks like maybe there's a nervous elephant on the side. I think the reason he's nervous to go out on stage, it's like a big performance, and he's the first one to go on stage. And there's a lot of other elephants waiting to go on, but he's the first one. But he's a little bit nervous. He's got a lot of butterflies, mainly because of the sign stuck in his trunk that says there's a bomb under one of the seats and the only exit is through my intestines. So yeah, he's a little bit nervous to, just in case anyone reads the sign. So he's gonna try to maybe do very fast dancing. I mean, he can't get the sign out. It's time to go. There's, the show must go on unless someone reads the sign. So down here, let's just start making lines, and it kind of looks like a finger. Maybe it's the finger that pokes the Pillsbury Doughboy. And for those of you who don't actually really know the whole story, that it actually is not a finger. It's the chin of the Earl of Warwick. God knows what he was actually trying to do. He wasn't trying to poke him, that's for sure. But he eventually later shot him. Yeah, the rest is history. So up here, this kind of looks like an outline of a submarine. It's got the propellers and everything like that, but all the bolts and things. But with this submarine, it's one of those ones with the lipstick on the front. And there's a few of them out there, and they're not really manned by anyone, but they do provide lipstick for certain sea life. This one here is actually in the Hudson River, and the only sea life it really comes across is the occasional dead goldfish in a plastic bag. But everyone deserves happiness. It's Friday night, so the sky's the limit for this Ziploc. So right over here, this kind of looks like the outline of a scientist. You start to see that, like I do. Got the pants and stuff, and like it's like a lab coat. He's kind of hunched over, like he's very, very burdened by something. Maybe it's one of his inventions. Very typical scientist, Got the goggles on, and he's got some sort of a head contraption with a light bulb on it. I think he invented something as an answer to grocery shopping during the pandemic, maybe, where you write down your grocery list and you put it in one end of the machine, and the paper combined with your thoughts, the groceries spew out the other side. But I think this is sort of the trial period, and he put the list in on the wrong side. And instead of groceries, it was actually Wendy from the bank vomiting in her sleep. I don't really know what happened there, but like she's very hungover, and the vomit is going down the scientist's neck here. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting way to calm down in the morning, to get all your stuff out there on the paper. It's a good way to calm down. That's for sure. So yeah, please like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please turn on your notification button so you can tell when I upload. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you soon. Take care.